I'm Nikki Juice.
And I'm Cheryl.
And this is Killers, Cults and Queens.
The Spooky Sleepover.
Hello and welcome to Killers, Cults and Queens. It is time for the Spooky Sleepover.
Yes, indeed. It's our weekly chat show where we catch up on this week's antics, discuss our rabbit holes of the week, and debrief on this week's case of Killers, Cults and Queens.
And this week, for some reason, we're vampires. I don't know why, but we are.
You set the tone and we're here.
But how are you doing, my lovely, lovely shares? How's your week been?
Do you know what? It has been a hectic week. I don't know how I had the social capacity to entertain 5 nights on the trot. Not even nights, full-blown days as well. But I did it all for the love of Pride and Madonna.
Well, you know, if Madonna calls, you've got to answer, really. Otherwise, you know, it kind of goes against gay code, doesn't it?
It really does. And I'm not going to lie, when I turned up to this event on Thursday last week, I was not expecting the sheer amount of people to be there. I thought it was just going to be a nice little intimate affair. But no, there was at least 4,000 people there. And I was like, cool, blimey, geezer, mate, this is wild. And people, as we were walking up, there was like a holding list or a list of people that hadn't got tickets. They were like, do you have any tickets? Do you have any tickets? And I was like, oh, whoa, guys, whoa, no.
I'm going in, you're not.
Yeah, I was like, I was a bit overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie, I had just come from not a flex location, Soho House Festival in central London. Now, I was invited. I do not have a Soho House membership. If anybody wants to sponsor me to have a Soho House membership, I will happily take one, but I'm not paying for that because I'm not in London enough to warrant going to sit and having a nice coffee at a cafe, basically. But I had a fabulous time. I was with our divas at Hey You, and then I went straight to Madonna. So I had been on the trot for 2 days on the trot. No, Gemma Collins quote there. But I've been on the go since I think I'd left the house at midday, and I got home at 3 a.m. And I was shattered. But no time to rest. Had to pack all up again, head out the road and head to London Pride, which, to be honest, I've got to say, I'm wearing my Not a Phase Joy t-shirt. And if you can support the trans community this Pride season, because Pride is not just a month, it is a year-long thing of standing up for everything that's been taken against not just the community as a whole, but specifically the trans community and people of color within the community. So if you can support by donating or grabbing a t-shirt for Not a Phase, please do so because they are fabulous. But yeah, just support the community. But being out on the streets in London all day, all night was such a joyous occasion. But bloody hell, London need to sort out their paths.
It's not easy, is it? When it's completely rammed full of people as well, trying to get around and about. It is tough. It is hard. And it's just not always suited to it, is it?
I'm not going to lie. I'd had a bevy by this point. But I said to myself, like, I was in my hip pads and my corset. I said, I'm not going to the toilet until I'm completely done. So I will go back to my hotel when I'm done. And I held that wee from 11 in the morning until 8:30 at night.
Whoa.
I think I did very well. You did
very well. You must have been so dehydrated.
Well, yeah, the vodka was drying me out. But I'm very impressed that I held it till that long. But as I was leaving to go back to my hotel, I was walking through the streets of Soho, and Shezzy had a bit of a stumble, and I snapped I had like one of these shoes, Nikki, with the straps round it. Snap.
Oh no!
Snap the strap. So I was holding on for dear life. with these shoes for the last stretch on the tube back to the hotel. But
Oh.
was it worth it? Yes. Will I do it again? Maybe not for a while. But
time to recover.
But it was fabulous. More importantly, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, I'm sad I didn't make it to Pride this year. It just kind of it wasn't on my radar, and I think it's just because I haven't actually just I don't know, too many things going
Busy
on,
girl.
and it just wasn't
Busy
there.
girl.
It just wasn't there this year. So next year for sure, I will be there toddling back with you and snapping my ankle.
Oh, don't tempt me with a good time. I will just say, full transparency to our listeners. We know Nikki's going through some renovations. I said, why don't you just come work with me here? We could have done the poddy together at my house.
Yeah, so that could happen in the very near future. So at the moment, it's not too bad because they've only been doing half days because of the weather, because where it's been so hot, they can't be up there for so long. And one of the builders also had a bit of a family emergency. So they've not been here as much as as they could have been, and actually that's kind of worked out quite well, so I'm not too worried that things have been slightly delayed. But I have been catching up with somebody this week though that I have missed very, very much. And have you noticed that somebody has returned to Tasmania? Our friend Neil the Seal is back in town.
I saw this and my instant thought was, Nikki is losing her shit right now.
I have been loving it because he's back. He's bigger, so he's even larger than he was last year. Huge. The fact that they drove...
not body shaming, but...
It's okay. Those elephant seals are meant to be big and beautiful, and boy, are they. And they drove him 70 miles away last year in the hope that he wouldn't return to his home beach. But as soon as the weather started to turn, he was straight back in town, hopped up that beach, and was like, "Hiya, I'm back."
He's like bad Santa Claus, you know. He's checking the list and checking it twice, and he'll turn up on your doorstep or down your chimney if you want him or not.
And so he has been wreaking havoc in town in Tasmania, and he's broken so many bollards. He's been trying to attack vehicles as well. He's been in the way of everybody. Now there is a slight issue here because he is very, very popular, and people fell in love with him last year. So this year, now they know that he's back, they've gone to go and see him, and the infrastructure of the town is not really coping with that many visitors. So that's not a good thing. So if you are in that area or you're thinking of going to see Neil the Seal, please don't. Please leave him alone, because it could actually be affecting whether they want to keep Neil around, to keep things PG. So yeah, there is a bit of a threat at the moment to Neil. So yeah, he is causing damage. However, there has been a protection put in place for his safety, so he should be kept nice and safe. And the council have said they'll pay for any damage that he causes this year. So we'll see what happens with him. But at the moment, he's a right bugger. But if you want a bit of cheering up, go and look for Neil the Seal and see what he's been up to this year, because he's more violent than he was last year. I'm really enjoying it.
Violent and large. It sounds like me on a night out.
Just don't break your ankle.
No.
So this week we learned all about the unbelievable stories come out of the aftermath of 9/11. And we can call this the unbelievable because they were, in fact, unbelievable because they were untrue. We dove into the case of Tania Head, a woman whose story of survival captivated millions, and it led her to lies. But has that got you questioning everyone's "where were you" stories, even if they were just in Tesco's that day?
I mean, I'm a skeptic to begin with. We know this, Nikki Drew, so I'm not going to believe any words that come out of people's mouths. But when you lie about something as monumental as the fact that you were in the towers, crushed under debris, fighting for your life, and then you go and do that. Nah, you deserve to rot, my lovely.
Mm. Yeah, I think this one is so deplorable, isn't it? And I still can't work out for the life of me what she got out of this. And I just find it
Nothing.
so strange. And was it because was she just feeling lonely? And did she want to kind of replicate what had happened in her former years with her family? Because her family were involved in a scandal. And so I wonder whether she kind of wanted some of that attention as well, or maybe she felt like she was left out when she was younger and decided that she wanted to be part of something bigger. It's really strange, isn't it? And I don't understand the psychology behind it at all.
It is strange, but at the end of the day, we will never know the ins to the outs because she'll never be forthcoming. I mean, she's disappeared. She's
Mm,
gone.
yeah.
So it's going to be difficult to pinpoint what her reasoning was. It is a case of, I think, a lie that got a bit bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they sort of saw the rewards of what this lie could produce of acceptance, community, family, notoriety, that they sort of just kept going with it. And I don't think they meant any harm. I don't think they meant to cause distress and upset. But when you're not of sound mind and you're just like stuck in this bubble, in this fake world that you are curating, I mean, it was a very much a real world, but her reality was fake. So
Hmm.
it's one of those situations that you've sort of got to just feel for them, that they might not have just been in a good headspace, and this was the only way that they felt that they could have peace and clarity.
And I wonder if it was about connection as well and feeling like you're part of a community. And I wonder if that's what she was seeking from it.
I think so, and I know we can get frustrated and angry because, as we just saw, I got very angry at the top of this, but I get angry because I just don't understand how anybody could actively lie about being in a situation like 9/11, like 7/7, like a tragedy, like I was going to say Boss Castle, but I don't know why that was the first thing that came to my head.
Interesting
The fu-
choice.
well, the funny thing is spoiler alert, I was actually in Cornwall when the Boss Castle flash floods were happening in
Were
2005,
you?
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
there. I was in a pub in Wadebridge watching it all unfold, having a lamb shank. I'm
I
not
beg your
laughing at
pardon.
the
Were you that excited by it?
I'm not laughing at the situation because the situation was very disastrous and many people lost their houses and livelihoods. But
Yeah.
I remember being there and I'd be like, why can't we leave? And they were like, we've got to wait for all the traffic to die down.
Yeah, no, that was a quite an event. But yeah, no, I didn't know you were there. There you go. Shezzy live reporting.
Live on location.
Yeah.
But yeah, just looping back to my point that I just imagine if I came out and I lied about being at Boss Castle 7/7 2004. Um,
Is this a switcheroo? Making up a new story.
yeah, I'm just exposing myself. No, it's like I just couldn't fathom anybody lying about something as huge as that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. But this has sent me kind of a bit down, not my rabbit hole of the week this week, but a bit more delving into what actually happened on the day of 9/11. Because when
Oh,
you're
really?
researching things like this, so much stuff comes out afterwards. And I was intrigued because when I was editing the episode and we were talking about which tower fell down first, and it was the South Tower, not the North Tower, and the North Tower was the first one to be hit, but the South Tower fell first. And it's all to do with, and I'm going to talk about some pretty nasty stuff now. So if you do need to skip forward, please do. But this was all to do with the angle that the plane hit. So the first one hit kind of straight on, and the second one just at the last second, the hijackers pulled up the plane and it went through the tower diagonally. So this is really, really rough to hear, but there were the reason there was more casualties from the South Tower is because the plane went in at that level, but because people had known that the North Tower had been hit, they were all gathered in the sky lobby waiting to go downstairs in the lifts. And so there were about 200 people gathered just in that one spot where the plane hit. And so that's how that many people died. And that's also how there was only sort of 4 people that got out from that area, was because the hit of the plane was way more devastating and impactful than the first tower. So the fact that it hit that way basically kind of sent all the flames upwards and caused maximum structural damage, and so that's how it ended up falling. But the people that got out from that area, and remember I was talking about Wells Crowther in the episode, who was the firefighter. I thought, from the perspective of how I learned about the story, was that he was outside, but he was actually in the towers on the day. So he was nearby on those floors when the plane hit. And he was one of the people that managed to survive it. I don't know which floor he was on, but he did survive it. And that's how he ended up rescuing those people from that floor, because you couldn't see anything in there because it was so completely filled up with smoke and debris and jet fuel
Everything,
and flames, everything, and bodies, that people couldn't find their way out. So he was the one that actually was stood in the doorway and guided people towards that one open staircase. So yeah, the fact that he managed to get people out was even more of a big deal than we said in the episode. So yeah, just unbelievable work by him to get those people out. But yeah, I just found it really interesting that that it was so devastating just from a few things that you couldn't have accounted for on the day at all. So the fact that there were 200 people here and the plane hit at that angle, just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. But I think it's a lesson to everybody that before you say that one little white lie, think of where that one little white lie can go, because as you've learned this week, it's one slippery as slope if you keep lying and lying and lying. So be careful, divas. All right, I think it's time for some rabbit holes of the week. Now, Nikki Drews, I feel like there's a trauma in the water coming our way.
There actually isn't this week. It's all very PG. I haven't done a trauma for a while. Maybe I should. My trauma was probably just the 9/11 stuff that I've just spoken about. So yeah, that was pretty nasty.
Just the 2 episodes we've endured this week.
Yeah, and just a little bit more horribleness from me at the end there. But mine is actually pretty PG this week. And have you ever thought about how the rest of the country spends their time? Because we all think we're pretty unique and individual, and that we all do things, sort of at our own pace and things, don't we? So have you ever wondered about, when you're brushing your teeth, are there other people brushing their teeth at the same time?
Oh my God, all the time. I'm constantly thinking about, I wonder what Sandra Middlesbrough's doing right now. Shit like that. I don't even know Sandra, but I wonder if she's just, having a leisurely bath, whether she's watering her plants, whether she's just watching Corrie. There's so much happening at the same time. Right now, there's probably about 200 people recording a podcast at the same time as we are.
There probably is. And we've only listened to one of those podcasts, which is ours.
Sorry, not sorry.
So there is something that is carried out by the Office of National Statistics, which is called the Time Use Data Study. And it basically takes a portion of people from all over the country and they check to see what everybody's been up to. So people are asked to keep a diary for 48 hours and to put down the time that they spend dedicated to various different things. So they haven't done one in 2025 and 2026. I don't know why. it might come back. But the statistics that we have the most recently are from 2023 and 2024. Basically, what it boils down to is people kind of spend the same time doing things. So you will find that the dedicated amount of time for various different things sort of varies, but it's kind of, what you might expect. So the amount of time that adults in the UK spend on entertainment and socializing and other free time activities, so what you might call that, like maybe going to the cinema or something like that, going bowling,
Cinema,
that kind of thing.
movie, TV shows, pools, I don't know.
So that's been steadily declining over the last 3 years, and that's now down to an average of 3 hours and 39 minutes per day. So if you think about kind of what you're doing after work or before work, it's those sort of hours that you're spending on things. So the average daily time that UK adults spent sleeping and resting, now this one surprised me, was 9 hours and 3 minutes.
Really? Because I think it would average about 7. If you add in all the people that undersleep and some people that sleep a little bit longer, I thought the average would be about 7 hours.
Yeah, see, I would have thought it would have been about that as well, because, I kind of regularly get probably about 7, sometimes 6, sometimes even 5 hours sleep a night. So it depends
6,
what I'm up to.
7.
Yeah, definitely 6, 7. But yes, so apparently this is kind of fluctuates depending on the report each year. So this one was particularly high at 9 hours and 3 minutes. But apparently during COVID, it actually went down to about 8 hours instead. So, which I thought was quite interesting. So people were spending a bit more time not resting during COVID. So don't know whether that's because more people were working or what they were up to. I don't know.
I think they were busy, Nikki.
Wink, wink. Now, this one will come as no surprise to anybody, but women spent an average of 3 hours and 37 minutes per day doing unpaid work activities. So that's anything from laundry through to cleaning, through to washing up the dishes, caring for other family members as well. So there might be children or elderly people or people that need additional support. And so that kind of doesn't really shock me, but men were only spending 2 hours and 43 minutes on that.
Lazy fuckers.
But it doesn't surprise me. That's not the way in our household. It definitely is the other way around, I must say. The husband does all of the chores and I do hardly any of them. So the gap on the average daily time spent on unpaid work between women and men has narrowed in the last 3 years. So, they kind of are stepping up to the plate, which is good. But there still is quite a large gap. We're not talking minutes, we're talking hours. So the daily time that people arrived to work was anywhere between 8 and 9 a.m. And the time that people travelled home from work was anything between 4 and 5 p.m. And people brushing their teeth was usually around about 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you're brushing your teeth at around about 8 o'clock in the morning, you're brushing them with thousands and thousands of other people, which is crazy. And most people had dinner between 6 and 7 p.m. And before that, that was usually dedicated to rest or entertainment activities or that unpaid housework. So I thought that was all quite interesting. And a lot of people said that they were eating for around about an hour and 7 minutes throughout the day. And washing, dressing, using the bathroom and self-grooming was around about 53 minutes per day. And socializing could be anywhere between 32 minutes and up to an hour and a half. So I thought that was all quite interesting. It'll be interesting to see if the Office for National Statistics bring this back again. But I do want to give a shout out to Chris Spargo, who is a YouTuber who brought this to my attention through one of his videos. And I have fallen down a rabbit hole of watching his videos. If you want to know about some very mundane things, which are really interesting, like how we get bins in this country and who makes them. It's all really fascinating stuff. So, I would really highly recommend recommend going to watch his video about it. But that is what I've been thinking about this week. It's just when I'm brushing my teeth, am I brushing my teeth with everybody else? And it turns out, yes, I am.
8 a.m. She's flossing away.
But what about you, Shares? What have you been lost in this week?
Well, my rabbit hole has actually hit me very recently, and it was this morning because I woke up in a pool of sweat.
Oh
And
no,
I was
you've just
like,
had your aircon put in.
exactly. I should have no reason to be waking up in a pool of sweat. But you know why I was in a pool of sweat? Because I was
Why?
stressed in my sleep.
Oh no.
Yeah. I was like, why the hell am I having stress dreams? I have nothing to be stressed about right now. I've got no deadlines. I've got no like pressing work. I've got no hectic schedule. If anything, the hectic schedule's finished. So I was like, why is my brain doing this to me? Now, to look back into our most jarring, anxiety driven dreams, we have to look at a thing called our REM sleep. So, during the rapid eye movement, the REM sleep, the stage where your dreaming is most intense, that's where your brain is doing some major, heavy emotional lifting for you. Now, neuroscientists view dreaming as a form of overnight therapy. While you sleep, your brain works through it all, strips everything raw, takes the painful stings away of your brain, and gives your daytime memories a little rest so you can process it into actual factual information. Now, during REM, emotional centers like amygdala, I'm probably saying that very wrong.
Amygdala.
Amygdala.
Yes, amygdala.
Amygdala.
Sounds like an excellent drag name to me. Please welcome to the stage.
Amygdala. and other sections are running hot as they run through all of your fears. Now, crucially, the prefrontal cortex, the bit at the front of your brain responsible for the logic and the time and spatial awareness, she goes quiet. She doesn't worry about a thing, because without the logic to steer the ship of your brain just weaves through every high and low that you have been feeling through every single moment. Now, who knows what could cause a spike with your brain? It could be a daytime stress with a looming deadline, or a relationship, or a financial strain, or unresolved traumas, or maybe it's just something physical that has happened to your body. But these things can trigger you. So it's good to just pause and reset at the moment these things have happened to go, what could have caused this? Now, sometimes things like food and beverages too close to your sleep can often have a big impact into your REM cycle. Now, I might have had a little margarita last night just before bedtime, so I think Miss Margarita and tequila played a big impact on my REM cycle last night. So, some advice quickly before we go that can help you if you do suffer from stress-induced dreams. Firstly, 60 minutes before bedtime, shut the phone away, shut the TV away, and just shut away any distractions and just sit with your thoughts. Maybe just a bit of light music in the background, and really hone in that sleep cycle. Practicing emotional brain dumping as well has been a scientific research that even just jotting 15 minutes before bed any final thoughts into your head, just get them out onto a piece of paper, and then they're out of the brain. And finally, if possible, which is very unlikely in this heat, try to sleep in a cool environment. And just know that if you haven't got a cool environment, just maybe a little brain dump can do away. But don't worry, your brain is not punishing you for anything that's happened in a stress dream. It's probably just a little cocky tea playing havoc on your frontal lobes.
See, I'm quite lucky. I don't, well, I know that everybody's like, well, you do dream because you have to. And I don't know whether you die if you don't dream, but I never really remember my dreams. So whether I'm having bad dreams or not, I don't remember them. So I'm doing all right for myself. I think it's because by the time my head hit the pillow, I am so tired that I'm like, right, that's it. And I sleep all the way through and then I wake up the following morning. But yes, if I have had a little cocky tea, then sometimes I do wake up at about 3 a.m. So yeah, it does have an effect on my sleep, I must say. But it's not going to stop me from drinking them, that's for sure.
You and me both. You and me both. Well, that's all for now, divas.
Remember, you can get in touch on Instagram at Killers Cults Queens and come and see us over on YouTube at Killers Cults Queens, where we're now publishing our episodes in video format every week.
And if you want to get our episodes ad-free and a day early, then make sure you join us over on Patreon at patreon.com/Killers Cults Queens.
And if you've got a bit more to say or you want to suggest a topic for a future episode, then please email us at killerscultsqueens@gmail.com. And don't forget to join the conversation in our Spotify and YouTube comments too. We really do read every single one.
And whilst you're there, I want you to give us a 5-star review or a thumbs up. It really does make a difference and we love you for it.
See you next time, and don't be a killer or join a cult.
Just sleep well, divas, please. Goodbye.
Night-night. Bye-bye.
Wow, wow, wow.